In healing, we find strength together, embracing connection and life's shared
Hey,
journeys.
welcome, Healing Project.
Yeah.
Angelica, we're glad you're here,
Yes.
and we're having some discussions about the
We had the grief anniversaries
yes,
on our last podcast. We kind of discussed a lot of that that we both went through with Jordan's passing date and your mom's birthday.
right,
Then we started school and
yeah,
all the things.
yes, all the big goals that we're working on,
Yes.
kind of in the proverbial storm trenches, whatever you want to refer to. So we're back again.
We are. And today we wanted to talk a little more about relationships and healing in those relationships.
Right,
Because we don't have tragedy, stress, and things happen kind of in a vacuum,
right.
right? We're in it together with the people in our lives.
So it is something that those relationships are meant. We're not supposed to do it alone. You said about being in a vacuum. We don't heal in a vacuum,
Right.
and we don't heal alone in a vacuum. And in fact, ancient wisdom and Proverbs tells us that we actually find that a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born in adversity or of adversity, times of adversity. And that really is important to understand that we can and will have relationships that will either carry us or they will crush us. It's really important for us to take a moment and talk about how important those relationships are.
Mm-hmm.
They necessarily won't fix everything, but they will either cause life or death.
And it's taking inventory
Right.
of the people that are in your life. Are they adding to you? Do they call you to be your best self? Do
Right.
they promote good, healthy things in your life? Or is it, on the other side of the coin?
Sure.
It's not adding.
And we talked about this, how to kind of, for us, this is going to be a context of saying, the relationship between uh, a married couple,
Mm-hmm.
but also the key relationships that we have. There's some relationships that are necessary and needed to have and maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Family members, our children, spouse, those are, you have to take inventory of those.
You do.
And then there's the family that you choose. There's the friends that you choose. There's the people that are close. They become like brothers and sisters through adversity. But we need to take inventory of each one of those and see, is this relationship leading me to my best self, or is this relationship taking me further away? Is this relationship causing me to indulge in activities or pathways that are leading me towards what I want for my highest good, or what I want for my lowest ego?
Even what fruit are you bearing?
Yeah.
What fruit is on the tree of
Right.
this
Of this relationship.
relationship?
Yeah. Is there any good? Because everyone says, well, you're not supposed to judge. And they use context of Christianity, like, we're called not to judge, or you're not supposed to judge.
Right.
And in that same teaching, that same understanding of if you look at Jesus as a teacher, you see that there's a philosophy, the way, and I use that a lot because he showed a way of life, a way of living. And we get really religious, but it was really like the way that we should handle ourselves in the world and towards the highest good. So in that concept, there is an idea of not to judge, but that's to say, don't put a finality on it, but at the same time, discern whether or not there's good fruit. In the same teaching, discern. So, no, is this good for me?
I think there was that difference between judging the fruit of a relationship of what's happening in a situation than it is to judge a person for their actions, their sins, their life, their choices, their orientations,
And that
or whatever it might be.
concept.
It's a whole different kind of judgment.
Judgment is saying this is the final. I'm putting a verdict on it. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any worse. It is what it is. that's what we're called not to do,
Mhm.
because we remove all process of grace, because we're all a work in progress. Discerning is saying, hey, is this good for me right now?
Right.
It's not whether this are you good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
but is this adding to me? Is this helping me become?
My grandmother used to say, we're all in boats.
Yeah,
And some people you put in your boat
right,
because they help your boat float. Some people you don't let them in your boat
right,
because they put holes in your boat
right.
and they make you sink.
And some people help you row, and some people sabotage.
Yeah.
So you just have to know, and what do you need to work on?
Mm-hmm.
And that might be hard conversations that you even have with uh, those relationships that you need to that are required of
You have
us,
to maintain.
that we have to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And it may require us to have hard conversations or hard inventory of those chosen family
Mm-hmm.
in our life. So they're either going to carry us or crush us, and that's a big one. That's a
For
big one.
sure. For sure. And, relationships don't, at work, as a nurse, I see all kinds of dynamics in relationships. I see the dynamics of people that have had to place their family member somewhere because of a mental illness or something that isn't quite right, dementia or Alzheimer's, and with that comes a lot of unrest for the patient, for the
Yeah,
resident themselves, because there's a lot of fear when you don't remember and you don't understand, and you wake up every day and you're in a strange place because you don't remember why you're there, and then you try to call your family to come and get you, and why am I and it's a lot of anger, and just, I mean, they get very upset, and then the family doesn't know what to do. You see in their face like this is their loved one, in body and in spirit is still their loved one, but their mind is just not able to hold on to the memory of what's going on in life, right?
right.
Very hard. You see that anguish in that relationship
Yep.
and what it is. And
Real life
it
for real life.
for sure. And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. People, when they see their family members in pain and they don't know how to help and they don't know what to do, and how to move things forward, and it you see just a lot of different dynamics in relationship.
Well, the stressor points, because like pastoral care, I've
Hmm.
worked in both those settings of those moments where families are confronted with unexpected news, usually not good news.
Yeah.
And then I've seen, and that's such a stressor moment. And then I've seen like what's supposed to be celebratory moments where families get together or relationships, friends get together. And in that moment, it's supposed to be a time of celebration, like a wedding.
Yeah.
But those stressors, they reveal the true nature of those relationships.
Hmm.
And if there's strain or there's underlying conflict that hasn't been resolved, or if there is, anything that's harboring,
Hmm.
those stressor points are going to more than likely cause that all to come to the surface.
Yeah.
So as a nurse, you see that all the time, and like you see the dynamic between, a parent and child and children, and people that turn on each other, that they've turned on each other years ago,
Yeah.
but it just manifests under those moments of pressure.
Yeah.
So that's what we're really talking about, is in grief, because stress and grief is going to come, and those key relationships that we have are they're going to matter.
Hmm.
They're going to matter. And so
Even in our relationship with the stress that we're under,
right.
like we're kind of in this
Oh yeah, precious. Look,
marathon year.
it's a year of
A year.
putting our head down and
I keep
getting the work
I
done.
keep saying we need to get a calendar to mark off the months, right? To know that we're making progress. But in even in the last few weeks, we've had to be very careful,
Sure.
getting really frustrated and stressed out.
Right.
Assignments due, things need to be done. Work, I started a new job. I've been on it for a short period of time and learning all of the nuances and the people and the processes and all the things, and getting to know my coworkers, and who you can trust, who you can't trust, and all those things. Getting into that, you're working nights, I'm working days. We're both in
Yeah.
school. Like we have kids,
It's a lot.
all the things. Stress is high, and having to have the outlets to be safe and to be really honest with each other when things are hard.
And especially moments of grief and like you going through those anniversaries, all those emotions are going to rise to the top, and most of them are going to be overwhelming, and they're not going to be positive. And so if we're not constantly trying to check in with those relationships, we'll actually find ourselves, when we need to be honest and when we need to open up and when we need to share, we haven't done that work. Somebody wrote this and it's really hit me hard. Like, it is my responsibility to heal. That's, and it's simple. And I know that's not like a way deep statement, but it is an ownership. You cannot control what happens to you, but you are responsible now. That's a big concept. And so when we're in those moments of like that grief, the unspoken grief, the stress, it actually will cause us, if we're not careful, to uh, really be separated in that connection. And research shows us that when we're actually under that stress, that emotional stress, cortisol rises, all the negative impacts happen. We feel disconnected. We feel separated. You know, in our marriages, in our friendships, when we're stressed, we shut down. We can shut down. We can jump in and try to fix everything, and not really get to the heart of the matter. Like, we're fixing all the external things. I know you go into firefight mode,
Yeah. I
and
have to
it's
clean everything.
clean everything. I know when something's wrong if I come home
And the house is smelling.
cleaning, because you're a nurse, you're a student, you're a mother, you've got 100 different hats. And for us, we have to schedule those times. So I know if outside of a normal schedule, all of a sudden you're like deep diving and deep cleaning the kitchen, something is wrong. You're not telling me, but something is wrong. So when we don't, it affects our body. We carry it, and I know, like, I want to fix it, but I don't. I want to fix. I want to make you happy. Maybe not actually get to the root cause, because that's going to require some work on my part, and me being vulnerable and me taking some accountability. I just want to make you happy. Yeah,
Let's go get ice cream.
Yeah, 1,000%. And sometimes we get quiet.
And sometimes ice cream is good.
It is good. It does.
And I do have that silent mode. I can, like, I need to be quiet. I need to put headphones in, and I need to clean something, or I need to run. Like, I have to get, like, something physical has to happen for me to process, to get to a place where I am able to say, hey, I'm really stressed out, or I'm really frustrated, or I'm really angry about XYZ.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's outside life.
Sure.
It's co-parenting. It's teenagers. It's all.
And if we're not in that, right, the stress will cause those unhealthy reactions and those old pathways. Like, we're working right now in our relationship, challenging each other, saying, okay, is this an old way of thinking? Is this an old pathway, or is this where we want to go? And that's a big deal. I think I said that to you early this morning after we had because we have to pick up conversations at different times because our schedules are so crazy. And I said, at the end, hey, I love you. These are the things I'm working on, and I know that this is my responsibility. That it is my responsibility to heal, and it's my responsibility to take that on. But we have to be able to be in a place where we can be honest and open, and those friendships are important for us. So you have to take evaluation, because you're going to come up against grief, you're going to come up against loss, you're going to come up against stress, and those key relationships are absolutely crucial. If they're not life-giving, if you're in a support system that is not life-giving, if you're in whether that's a spiritual setting, a relationship setting, whatever that is, we need to do that work to make sure that that is a life support for us.
Absolutely. I have the girls' weekend at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And I've been almost in anguish of, oh, it really seems like it would be really great. Like they're talking about, let's go do yoga, and let's just relax on the beach, and we're gonna have meals, and we're gonna have, it's gonna be a relaxing time. There's no stress, no tight schedule, no. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so great. And then on the flip side of the coin, I'm like, oh, but I'd have to take a day off work. It's going to cost money. We're
Right.
kind of tight on getting everything done that we need to get done in the year. It's going to take time away from me being here with you and with kids and with, because I work 6 days a week
Right.
right now. So my time is very valuable.
Yeah.
It's a valuable commodity.
Yeah.
And I think when you get super busy on your calendar is when you realize how valuable your time really is. Like, what are you really doing with your time?
Right.
I started listening to Can't Hurt Me Again, the David Goggins book, and the language can be very crude in the book. So
Right.
if you don't like cursing, please don't listen to the audible book. But I started listening to it a couple of days ago because who's going to carry the boats?
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of, we're in that year of, I have to carry my boat. I have to embrace
Right.
the suck and just put my head down and get it done.
Yeah. So the girls' trip.
I got text messages today saying, we really want you to go. We really want you to be there.
Yeah.
Which makes me feel loved, which is great. And part of me is like, I probably really do need to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a lot of time, and I have very few relationships outside of this house that are not children.
Right.
Or direct family.
Right.
That.
And we're in the age of, we have a bunch of connections and not real connections.
We're like people who really know you.
How many friends do you have on social media?
Right.
And then how many friends really know when you're quiet and cleaning, something's wrong?
Right. Well, a lot of people will know.
Yeah, they know now. If you watch this, the 10 people that watch this, you know now that's a problem.
That's a problem.
So
yes.
And we're called, if we're going to be in relationship, we're called to bear one another's burdens. That's a really important aspect. And if someone's not helping you carry the load, and if someone isn't showing up when life gets really, really hard, you need to take account. You need to take inventory.
Yeah.
And know, like, when I went through divorce and I went through a loss or leadership role, and I can count on a single hand.
Yeah.
Right. From people that were mentors and again, this isn't throwing shade, colleagues, people that, you spent time and these are friends. I haven't heard from them, never, some of the darkest days in my life. And that's not even being angry. But then there was others that did show up and those are people that.
And sometimes the ones that show up are not the ones that expect. Like, wow, like this is the person that's showing up for me. One of the people going on this trip is one of the ones that when things got really hard in our relationship and when things got really hard for us, that she's always shown up.
Right. So one of the big parts of that is knowing how to heal through communication. Ephesians 4 tells us, don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building one another up. And this is really tough, especially when we're tired or we're grieving.
Yeah.
And we need what happens in the magic, if you want to say. I don't like to use a lot of woo-woo, but it is magic because it's hard to really explain. But it is a principle. You get what you give. And when you give that in a healthy relationship, again, you have to be careful. I don't want to go deep diving, but there is a warning Jesus gives us about casting our pearl before swine. I don't want to get sidetracked, but you have to know, is this a relationship that's adding to me?
Yeah.
Or is this a relationship that
it's a positive?
If Jesus was like here, he'd be like, no, that ain't good. They're low down. They're a snake, right?
They're not for your good.
Yeah, not for your good.
Right.
So You got to know, is this a relationship that adds to my life? And if that's the case, I
It,
got to be willing to give. It takes some sacrifice
it does.
to maintain a relationship.
Relationship is not one-sided in any way, shape, or
Right.
form. To be in relationship is to give and take and show up and do the hard things.
Right.
That's relationship. It's to do the hard things and
Right.
the fun things and the laugh and cry.
And this idea that we need hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, you need,
Oh,
you know, I'll throw a reference out there, but you need two or three.
yeah.
Two or three, and that's it. I mean, Scripture says one can put 1,000 to flight, two could put 10,000 to flight, right? And a threefold cord is not easily broken. So we don't really have any other instructions than like 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Jesus had 12, then he had an inner three, right? There is something about having 2 or 3 really close friends and maintaining those relationships, and they should be a relationship that you could be able to communicate and say, hey, I need you. I need to just talk. I need to bare my soul. And you're gonna, and it's okay if you disagree or they say something crazy, or even if they don't fully understand you. I've got a friend that we are as different as night and day. We are just different. I'm more of a liberal arts, and he's,
good old boy.
Good old boy, backwoods, and that's yeah, for sure. And I'm not a, I'm not specifically, but when it comes to like if I need someone, I can call.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, and they would show up without question. And so those are relationships that we need to understand, that we need to build each other up. I need to build them up, and I need them to do that same for me. So,
well, and another thing is to remember that it's not always words.
right.
Sometimes sitting with someone and just holding their hand can be enough to physically affect someone, lower their cortisol level, lower their blood pressure, decrease their heart rate, give them some solace, and just knowing they're not alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need someone who will sit next to us and be present.
Shared joy, things that help us grow together, shared joy, laughing together, in marriage or in those key relationships. Studies tell us that if we have something that brings us joy, you can share laughter with us. It actually helps strengthen our bonds with each other. It helps us have conflict resolution skills, because we can laugh. We don't have to take ourselves so seriously.
Like the other day when you were kicking my butt in pickleball.
Yeah, that's true. And we're wired for joy to be medication. We're wired for that. We're wired for exercise to be an antidepressant. We're wired for joy, real joy, not just being happy in the moment, external, but like true joy.
Yeah.
Sharing in something that fills our cup up, whatever that is. And don't do it alone. Life is not meant to, and you don't have to compete with everybody. You don't have to have 30,000 friends. You don't have to go everywhere all the time. Just carve out key moments that you can have. So that's a big one.
I think about the grandbabies. They were here this weekend, and listening to, we were doing the crazy dancing, singing party in the house, and listening to the baby just laugh. It's that pure, right? Like I'm flying to the Wicked song, to the song. He's flying and running around the living room and trying to fly. And in his brain, he was flying. And the laugh, like to get back to that place where we can have that joy.
The kingdom is available when we become childlike, and we have to be childlike in our spaces. We have to be vulnerable enough in those relationships that we can be childlike, and we can sometimes just be goofy.
Yeah.
We can, whatever that helps, whatever we need to do to create those kind of spaces, because we need to be able to have honest conversations with each other, and joy opens up the doorway for us to do so. Right. And when we become childlike in our play and in our joy with each other, it just opens up the kingdom, right? The kingdom is within us.
Yeah.
That's the commands. That's the observation of Christ, and that's a big statement, a big idea that we could talk about for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
But Jesus goes to a blind man in the Gospels, and he literally asked, like, "What do you want for me to do for you? What do you want for me to do for you?" And we have to have those kind of relationships where we can have that level of honesty.
Right. What do you need?
What do you need? What do you need?
How can I help?
How can I help? How can I show up for you? And it's not even money. I mean, yeah, sure, it'd be great if someone writes you a check, but that's not going to sustain
Right.
a real long-term, life-giving relationship.
Hmm.
So that's a big one. So
Yeah.
let's just talk about our takeaways. We've talked about a lot
Yes.
in this
So,
episode. So give us some takeaways and we'll wrap up.
so a few takeaways, 3 of them. What does this look like for everyday life? 3 simple things that you can try this week. Name one feeling out loud. Say, I'm sad. I feel heavy today. Neuroscience shows that naming emotions actually calms the brain.
Yeah.
If you can give it a name, you can say, this is what's going on. You can start to process and handle
Right.
it, right? 2, ask instead of assume. What do you need right now? Goes farther than guessing. A lot of times we just throw things at it. If you knew me, you'd know. I wouldn't have to tell you. I wouldn't,
Yeah, that's not helpful.
But I mean, earlier this evening, I'm doing homework, right? And you're like, what do you need? Because I'm stressed. I'm trying to finish
Yeah.
things up and get this ready. And what do you need? And I was like, you know what I need? I need my uniforms washed.
Yep.
I have to go to work tomorrow.
And it literally took me, 3 to 5 minutes to do that task for you. But
It was something that was off the
yeah,
list.
it was a checklist, and I knew that's okay.
Checklist getting done, right?
And you were like, as soon as I walked back into the room, you were like, whew.
Yeah.
Like,
thing I don't have.
How in the world, this 3-minute task was like the weight of the world, but it was just that last straw, that breaks the camel's back. You've been just like, I have to watch this. And I'm like, okay, well, let's watch it.
The other, one more.
It's gotta go in the dryer, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We gotta end this. We have to end this.
Find one shared joy. Cook together, pray together, or laugh at a silly show.
Absolutely.
Research shows shared rituals, even small ones, can increase resilience in relationships.
Yeah.
We've made a point on Monday or Tuesday, because you're off on Monday and Tuesday, in the evenings, going and playing pickleball. And so that gives us some physical. We 100% laugh at ourselves and each other.
I don't know if you laugh the whole time.
No, I get a little upset.
Yeah.
I want to be good, and I'm not there. You keep sending me these videos, these people that are really good. I'm not there yet. I will get there. I will get there.
It's okay.
But so healing isn't a solo project. The people closest to us feel our pain, but they can also be a part of our recovery.
So the reality is we've used a lot of scripture, and scripture does tell us that 2 is better than 1. If either of them fall down, the one can help the other up. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. And you need that. You need that in your life. And if you don't have that, start praying for it and start building yourself to become that to someone else. If you'll become that to someone else, in turn, that will come back to you. I wholeheartedly believe that. But we wait for it to come to us first.
Yeah.
Right? Become that person. You're responsible for your healing. Become that person for someone else, and that will come back.
It will.
Yep.
So thank you for joining us for the Healing Project with Matt and Angelica.
And we've got to get those
clothes
in the dryer. So we love y'all. Please follow, subscribe, like, share. Yeah.